We are watching Capitol Hill as the Senate inches oh so slowly toward a vote on President Trump's sweeping domestic policy bill. Here moments ago, also we should note Elon Musk again slamming the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. He said in a tweet, "It is obvious with the insane spending of this bill, which increases the debt ceiling by a record $5 trillion, that we live in a one-party country, the Porky Pig Party. Time for a new political party that actually cares about the people." With us now from the Hill is Democratic Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona. I don't know, Senator, if you have any comment on what Elon Musk is talking about there, but obviously he's also he's kind of got some, the Porky Pig funny in there, but he's also talking about spending. And I do wonder, on a serious note, who is concerned about spending right now on the Hill?
Well, Brianna, I don't agree with Elon on everything, but on this, Elon's right. They're about to add up to $5 trillion, but for what's in this legislation, $3.3 trillion to the debt, to give a big tax cut to the wealthiest Americans. At the same time, the thing that Elon cares about, I care about it as well, is the cuts in solar and wind renewable energy tax credits. This is basically all the energy that we now add to the grid every year, and my Republican colleagues want to take this away. So on this, we're on Elon's side. But the thing he didn't mention, which is also my biggest concern here, is they want to kick 17 million people off their health care. And again, just to give a big tax cut to the rich.
Yeah, different estimates on how many people will be off health care, but it is millions and millions to be sure. So we saw Tom Tillis votes against advancing the bill. The president threatens to back a primary challenger against him. Tillis ends up announcing he's not running for re-election. Are you talking to your Republican colleagues? Do they really want this bill, all of them, or are some of them just worried they'll be primaried if they don't vote for it?
Yeah, I think some of them fall into the same category as Tom Tillis. We don't often see a lot of courage here on Capitol Hill. I've been in the Senate for 4.5 years. I came here to do what's right for the American people, and I'm not going to make a decision based on how it's going to affect my next election. That's one of the big problems with this place. And this legislation is so bad for the American people. But here's what's interesting about it, Brianna, and folks are starting to talk about this, how this is good for Democrats politically. Despite that this could be good in the next election, I can guarantee you every one of us, every Democrat here in the United States Senate, we want to defeat this legislation because all it is a big wealth transfer from people who can't afford their health care to the richest Americans, putting more money in their pockets.
I want to listen to something that your Democratic colleague, John Fetterman of Pennsylvania, said about the possibility of Democrats forcing a lengthier vote-a-rama for this bill.
I don't think it's really helpful. I think if you have an argument to make, do that in the next 5 or 7 or 8 amendments to make that powerful statement. And that really, I don't understand. I don't think people are going to really be paying attention if you're doing 20, 30 or more kinds of amendment. I don't really think there's a lot of dignity in it.
What do you think about that? Does he have a point, or do you disagree with him?
I disagree with him. There is always dignity in fighting for the American people, especially folks who are just trying to get by. I've talked to so many people in my state that are fearful of this, who have illnesses, who have adopted children who are on Medicaid. When you adopt a kid through foster care, they're on Medicaid. I met this woman named Kiana Brown who says that what's going on here makes her feel like the Republicans are burning down her house and the kids are still inside. She is fearful that they're going to lose their Medicaid coverage, and one of her kids has special health care needs, and she cannot not afford to buy health insurance for this child. So, if it takes us till 6 in the morning or all day tomorrow, we should stay here, and if we can, try to make this bill a lot less bad. But at the same time, we should be here fighting for the American people. I don't care if it takes a month if we have to stay straight through. So I disagree with my colleague from Pennsylvania.
As you look towards a summer that could benefit your party politically, even though 2026 is looking like a tough Senate map for Democrats, I want to ask you about some of the energy in your party and harnessing it. A Democratic Socialist, of course, Zohran Mamdani is the likely winner of the Democratic Party in New York City. It's quite a swing from a Democratic mayor who was formerly a police officer. You're in a purple state, so I wonder how you were looking at the dynamics of that election. Do you think that Democrats can harness the energy of the working class without entertaining or embracing socialist policies?
We've got about 18 months till the next election, maybe a little bit less than that. And I think the American people are already realizing that it's Democrats here in the Senate and the House that are fighting for them and their families to try to get them a good deal. This administration and Republicans in Congress have been doing what's in the best interest of the wealthiest Americans. And legislation and budgeting is all about priorities. I remember, Brianna, I remember my mom when I was a kid sitting at the kitchen table and try to figure out what bills to pay. And it was always a struggle. And what we're doing right now on Capitol Hill is the Republicans are trying to take care of the wealthiest Americans. We're looking out for these people that are just trying to get by. I mean, these are folks that have to make decisions about whether they buy medication or pay rent or buy groceries for the week. And these are impossible decisions, and we are standing up to them. And I think that is a compelling story that we can tell between now and next November.
Without entertaining socialism? I mean, can you speak to that element? Because, I mean, you mentioned groceries. City-owned or run grocery stores was something that was very popular or something that was promoted in his campaign. Do you think that there is a way for Democrats to really harness energy of your voters without entertaining socialist policies?
Brianna, I'm a capitalist. I want companies to be successful so their employees can be successful, so we have good paying jobs that you can actually raise a family on, and also jobs that don't always require a 4-year degree. We've worked on this in my 4.5 years here in the Senate. We passed the CHIPS and Science Act, which allows people to have a great paying job and a career. And maybe they have to go to a community college for 2 years. I mean, that's the vision that I have for this country. We are the greatest country on the planet. We are a country of inventors and innovators. We can grow our economy, we can have a strong business climate, and people can have a job where they can actually pay their bills. But we've got to get off this train that has been transferring a lot of this country's wealth to the richest Americans through tax policy. You know, the wealthy Americans used to pay a little bit more in taxes, but under, starting with President Reagan and then George W. Bush and now President Obama, the taxes that the wealthiest pay are much, much lower. And that has become a bad deal for working and middle-class Americans.
Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.